Diets, restrictions, allergies and intolerances. So there's lots going on in there. So when we're looking at our diet or when we have illness in the body, we automatically come into this world of restrictions where we realize we're going to have to take things out of our diet for us to feel okay. So we realize it's important to figure out what foods suit us and what foods don't. So you might start with maybe onions and garlics because they're quite potent in the tummy. They don't suit everybody. But then you kind of realize, it could be gluten. Yes, it could be dairy. They would be the two biggest inflammatory food groups. Then we find out maybe about the nightshade family and realize, gosh, potatoes don't suit. Oh, that's really uncomfortable. And then there's pork is a really common one. Pork doesn't suit many people actually. So these kind of foods are associated with intolerances. There's a reason the body won't tolerate it. It's not tolerating it because it's under pressure for other reasons, be they viral loading, be they some other aspect of a toxin that the body isn't getting on with, or the balance is simply just out in there. So we explore, it can be food testing, it can be through our own food diaries, it can be through maybe blood testing. I think people can get tests that are pretty all right in food stores. I think they might use electricals or whatnot. And yeah, so you're sort of playing with foods and seeing what suits and what doesn't suit. Now, allergies are quite a different story. So a person can start to have intolerances to food. This is to do with the gut. Basically, the vagus nerve is so engaged that the gut's not turning on properly because the body's in fight or flight. So the full amount of enzymes and whatnot aren't being released, the acids aren't right, and then it starts. The leaky gut starts, a toxin overload in the body starts. But after a while, when you go from an acute stage into chronic, and you're there for quite a while, maybe a number of years, you might start to notice you've blotchiness on the skin, or you're getting more intolerant, more sensitive to things. And now you notice, like coffee, where you were able to drink coffee before, now that's absolutely triggering the skin. And what you're actually experiencing is that they're different immunoglobulins, they're different inflammatory markers, and the more you have, the more you get, because it just keeps on going. And it goes from a state of intolerance into allergies, and you begin to become more sensitive to like cat hair, where you may never have been before, and you notice from around the cat, the nose, or the hay, or suddenly you're sneezing when there's pollen, and it's like, I didn't used to have allergies, where are these coming from? And this is the progression of the immune system when it's just not being looked after, and it's really screaming, I need help. It's an emergency, and now it's getting so far, it's realizing the whole environment is a harm, is a problem, and it's throwing out an inflammation everywhere to protect itself. So these are the examples of intolerances into the allergies, and why we would detoxify and why we would fast. It's to stop the body going into these kind of situations, and we want to calm that vagus nerve right down. So breakfast, it appears, used to be the most important meal of the day. Now it's questionable. But I do think that the lunch ought to be the biggest meal of the day, and then the dinner ought to be more like a supper. I'm not sure why there's 3 meals in the day. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it was, people used to work long hours in slavery or something. You can eat 4 and 5 meals if you want to eat that way. If you find it hard to digest, or you're bloating easily, I'd suggest having smaller meals more often. But between 12 and 1 is where your hydrochloric acid is highest. It's where you can break down those bigger meals. So we don't want to stay in food intolerance situation forever. So this is why we would be using our aloe vera juices. We would always just take out what we know is irritating us, but still working on ourselves internally, so that maybe eventually we can turn down those alarm systems and be less intolerant to foods. And remembering that intolerance is all through the field. Probably we're intolerant to many other things as well, and it's all actually sort of lapping over with one another. So intolerance is fire. So it's cooling the jets, cooling the fire, always thinking about like cucumbers on your eyes, aloe vera. I mention aloe all the time. But green vegetables, green juices. If you're in around where there's a juice bar, go for the green juice. You know, the avocado and the cucumber and that. So, and you really will find that the gut and you repair much, much nicer.